Welcome. Ms. Caution here with a public service announcement. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we talk. Listen. Listen to the world to learn. Listen to others to understand. Listen to our audience to adapt. Have you ever wanted to teach someone something or communicate a message to someone? To do so successfully, we must take into account how our learners and listeners process auditory stimuli. In this presentation, my friends will share their words of wisdom to help you incorporate, vary, and honor all things auditory. Salutations from the Evergreen Queen. I'd like to share with you some factors to consider when designing your learning environment. First and most importantly, your learners and listeners need to feel safe, physically and emotionally. The climate you create should be accepting of others and their unique needs and perspectives. Thoughts and ideas are welcomed and shared. Focus is on the positive and free from put-downs. When others feel respect and hear kind words, they are more open to listen and learn. Next, ensure that your volume can be heard by everyone. Adjust accordingly. You can also make use of musical instruments. For example, a bell could be used to politely request attention from learners, to signal a transition time, to announce that something important is about to be shared, or to celebrate an accomplishment. Be creative. Use a variety. In addition, effective communicators and teachers limit distractions. Be proactive. Is there an echo to problem solve? Make arrangements to minimize sounds that may interrupt. Turn off any unnecessary sources of noise to encourage concentration. Yet on the other hand, know that some people prefer and thrive with background noise, the constant of a fan or soft instrumental music. Select what works best or compromise if needed. Finally, remember to differentiate your voice. Avoid using monotone. Instead, vary your volume and expression. Be big and interesting, or maybe small and calm for something worth leaning into. I hope this helps. I larch you. Hello, I'm the Rainbow Fairy, here to show you that we all come in different sizes, shapes, colors, personalities, and learning styles. Thank goodness we are all unique. How boring would life be if we were all the same? Variety makes life fun and interesting. Avoid becoming frustrated if someone is different. Different isn't wrong, it's just different. Remember that people will need different things in order to hear, to learn, and to listen. Here's a magic trick to help it stick. You are the pitcher with something to share. Give others what they need. Vary. Some learners will love listening. Others are going to struggle. Differentiate. Individuals prefer, need, and relate to different things. Your job is to observe and adapt. Notice what's working and change it up when it's not. Try and try again, honoring diversity. Greetings from the astronomy nerd. I'm here to tell you that you never know what life will throw your way. Be prepared for anything. How can you prepare for the unexpected? By being ready and willing to be flexible. Things may not always go as planned. You may be thrown a walrus, or bells, a hand, or a baby. If you have a mindset of flexibility, you can overcome the challenges life will throw your way. You can choose how to handle the unexpected. You can ignore it. You can problem solve. You can ask for help. Keep the focus on your lesson or message. With your goal as a priority, you may end up throwing life something its way. Thanks, ma'am, for the prop. It's just what I needed to explain how to practice the art of conversation. I'm Coach, always ready to help others improve and grow. Recall Vygotsky's advice. Learning happens when a person is challenged to stretch beyond what is comfortable to that which is difficult. First things first. Some people need to be directly taught how to participate in a conversation, taking turns, speaking and listening. You could begin by tossing a walrus or a ball or any soft object that's easy to catch. Be silly and basic at first. Talk about simple topics. Let the focus be on saying something and then pausing to pass the conversation. Use your item to physically represent when to speak. Talk when holding it and listen when somebody else is holding it. This is a shared experience. Talk.
Listen.
Talk.
Listen.
Talk. Some cultures call this the talking stick and use a branch to pass around. This takes practice and patience, yet it's worth the respect it shows. Next, let's talk about listening. Listening is different than hearing. Hearing means your ears and brain recognize sounds. You hear it. Listening, actively listening, means your ears hear the words and your brain gets the message. What is the speaker trying to communicate? When we are active listeners, we can paraphrase the message rather than just repeat it. We understand the meaning and we can put it in our own words. To actively listen, give the speaker eye contact. Give affirmations such as smiling and nodding, saying aha and okay. Avoid judgment and avoid interrupting. Instead, take notes or use your voice inside your head to tell yourself something. Ask thoughtful questions of the speaker and restate the meaning to confirm. Maybe say, sounds like you are saying. As your learners become proficient in active listening, guide them to more challenging topics and interactions. Select authentic prompts that are relevant to the lives of your learners. In addition to conversations, expand into discussions and debates. Also explain that sometimes silence is golden. Sometimes some people need what is called wait time, those few seconds for the brain to formulate and order thoughts before speaking. Be aware of this and allow that bit of golden silence while you listen. Embrace this wait time for yourself. Think and choose your words carefully. By articulating what we know and feel, we gain a deeper understanding of what we are learning. And by having a meaningful audience of listeners, we are more motivated to produce quality speech. Remember to start with the basics of listening and encourage your learners to stretch out of their comfort zones and actively listen and understand. Oh, hi, I'm Princess Shelley. I love connecting with others and hearing their stories. I adore listening and reading a good tale. Do you want to engage your learners auditorily? Do you want to have meaningful connections with them? Then I have some tips for you. First, you can gather them around and tell a story or play an audiobook. Some, like me, will prefer this. They will sit and sit still, all ears. Others are going to need to doodle or maybe fidget with something in order to listen better. In addition, you could let your learners tell, perform, or record a story of their own. It could be selected from options or written from their imaginations. Speaking of writing, written language is just talking on paper. I love talking, and I love writing notes to my friends. Here are some ways to jazz up a story or your own writing by incorporating auditory elements. While reading, have learners on the lookout for places to insert a sound effect. They could either write it or perform it and add the noises. Similar to sound effects is onomatopoeia. I love saying that word, onomatopoeia. An onomatopoeia is a word that sounds like its meaning. Think pow or buzz, gargle, slither. Another type of figurative language, and my favorite, is alliteration. This is where the first consonant sound of words repeat. Think, she sells seashells, or find fun with your family. Don't these just sound delicious? And rhyming words are also so pleasing to the ear. Ah, to listen to poetry, which reminds me, songs. Songs are just poetry in motion, and maybe with some music. Write something catchy to communicate important material to remember. Have learners create a song, or rewrite a song that you already know. For example, here's some first aid information to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Rinse, rinse, rinse your burn with water that is cool. Calmly, 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 till pain is minuscule. Try not to get burnt, but if you do, now you know. So it's time for me to go. It was a pleasure. Goodbye. Farewell. Welcome aboard. I'm Amy, your flight attendant, with a message of unity. All of us are smarter than one of us. Whether it's an airplane, a boat, or a spaceship Earth, we are all in this together. First, we listen to get to know one another, our likes and dislikes, our passions and motivations, the things we have in common. By listening to each other, we form connections and build trust. Next, we listen to others who are experts at something we want to learn or need to know. I am not a mechanic, so I am glad that I know some expert ones who help me travel safely. We all have strengths and interests. We all have something to contribute. When we talk or converse about something, we take one step closer to becoming an expert on it, or at least proficient, able to explain it. By sharing information or skills, we begin to feel ownership of it and build confidence in understanding it. Finally, this sharing of knowledge creates community. Our interactions become collaboration as we work together to accomplish common goals. Together, as active listeners, we can have a productive and peaceful flight. Safe travels. In closing, know that doors open when we listen well ourselves and when we help others to become better listeners. Whether it's earning a badge or your funny hat, or helping someone earn theirs, or maybe just surviving life, effective listening is a key to finding success and joy.
Of all the sounds we could hear, laughter can be a healing one if felt out of joy. May your listeners enjoy the experience so their learning may linger. May you find joy in your life lessons. And may you laugh.